Have you ever just felt like your thoughts just kept going? You couldn't get control over them, and you just kept thinking of worst case scenario. Your heart is racing, your palms are sweaty. You can't really come into the present moment because you keep thinking about what could possibly happen. And it's almost like you have no control. Your mind just keeps going and it keeps running, and you're just like trying to find some relief, but you're like, how can I get a moment of peace? Because these anxious emotions are literally driving me crazy. If you've ever been there, I get it. And today I'm going to share with you some things that I've been doing to really help manage my anxious thoughts. Anxiety is like one of the top mental disorders in America. So many people suffer. And when you think about it, it makes sense. Our climate is scary. You know, all these things are going on with the economic system. There are wars going on. On top of that, like just life be lifing. And that can make you feel anxious at times. But not having control over our thoughts can really be detrimental to our life, because when you keep thinking anxious thoughts, when you keep thinking of the worst case scenario, when you keep thinking what might happen, what could possibly happen with this state of fear, you're literally attracting more things into your life that's going to make you more anxious and keep putting you in a space of fear. So it's like this revolving door. It just keeps going around and around and around and around and around. Now, I haven't mastered it. I still have my anxious thoughts. I still deal with anxiety, but I've been doing these 7 things on a fairly consistent basis, and it has really helped. Like, I'm not feeling as anxious. I'm feeling more calm. And when the thoughts do come up, I've been able to use certain strategies to just bring me more back into the present moment, so I'm not constantly anticipating worst case scenario. So one of the things that really prompted me to do this video is because I'm an avid believer that your thoughts create your reality. And when you are in a state of fear, when you're in a state of anxiety, you are creating more of those situations in your life to show up. And I don't know about you, but I ain't trying to have that, okay? So some things that I've been doing that I find super helpful is I've been increasing my meditation, number 1. So I already meditate. I've been meditating consistently and daily, probably for like the past 8-9 years. But right now I'm in a really challenging space, and I'm constantly trying to navigate that. And I found that my anxiety was really high. Like, there were times that I would wake up in the middle of the night having a panic attack. You know, I'm a single mother, and it's been a year since I've been laid off from my job, and it's been challenging. It's been beautiful because I've discovered a lot about myself, but it's also been really challenging. And there were nights that I would wake up and be like, oh my gosh, like, what if I can't figure this out? And me and my daughter are homeless, or I'm living on the streets, or living in my car, and I'm in a space where I still have not been able to find employment. So things are still relatively challenging, but I gotta protect my mind because I want to create more peace and harmony. So I knew I had to get control of my thoughts. I couldn't be waking up in the middle of the night with a panic attack. So I've been finding that a second meditation later in the evening has been helpful. It like helps me get back connected to source, get back connected to the present moment, because I wake up really early. I meditated like 5 o'clock in the rising. So sometimes those benefits for me wear off by like late evening. So I have to do another meditation. So that's been super helpful. It's like a reboot. Number 2 is that I've been having direct conversations with source. So this time that I've been spending just trying to figure out my life, y'all, has been really challenging. And I found that when I talk to God, when I talk to source, like, it just makes me feel better. Like, I've been a meditator for a long time, but I haven't always prayed. I just felt like, well, source will talk to me. I will hear source, but I've literally been having conversations with divine. And I believe that divine lives within me. Like, I don't have to go search for the divine in the clouds or anything. So it's really easy to have those conversations. Just, I have that inner dialogue, and sometimes I talk out loud. And I share when I'm stressed, when I'm scared. I share, to give me strength, to help me. I just be having conversations about my day or about what I'm thinking. And it's just something about talking to God, talking to divine. It's peaceful. It feels, for me, it feels like I'm not alone. Even if I am alone, even if no one is around me, being able to have those conversations with Source, I just don't feel so alone anymore. Another thing that I've been doing is I recite affirmations daily. So I have like a lot of affirmations, y'all. I may do another video on this, but I got like 20 affirmations or so that I recite daily. And I literally put them on an index card in my bathroom, and I say it after I brush my teeth. And it's like when you first wake up in the rising, you're still kind of out of it. So it's like, I think it's like still going to like my subconscious mind in a way, because I'm still not totally like awake yet. So I find the affirmations are really helpful. And I've also realized that like when I'm in those states of panic that still comes up from time to time, like the affirmation automatically pops in. So I may be thinking, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to figure this out? How am I going to pay my rent? How is this going to happen? But then I think the affirmation, all of my needs are met. I have everything I need and more. So it's nice to have that automatically pop up. And I think that happens when you just do it consistently. You begin to override these anxious thoughts. And even when they do come up, you have the alternative right there waiting to slide in the space of the anxious thought. Another thing I do is I surround myself with positive people who are inspirational. And I don't have a lot of friends. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I watch a lot of like YouTube videos, and I read a lot of books. And that makes me feel like that's my circle. Like when I'm feeling, a little hopeless, not feeling as hopeful as I like, I'd read something or I listen to something, and it just inspires me and it helps me to feel good. And it's like these people are right here talking to me, even though I've never met them, even though they don't know me from like man in the moon. But it's like if you don't have that type of circle around you, you can literally create you can create it through technology, which is really helpful, right? And YouTube has connected me to a lot of people that I admire and who inspire me on a daily basis. So I've been finding that super helpful. Like, just because maybe the people you hang around, or you don't have like a ton of people you hang around who can really give you that positivity and that inspiration, like, search for it. It's there. Read the books, watch the YouTube videos, listen to the podcasts. We live in such an age where we can be connected to so much, even if it's not in our immediate environment. Number 5 is that when I begin to have like the negative thinking, the worst case scenario, I talk to myself. And I remind myself that like the worst case scenario has like never happened. Okay, so like I have thought a lot about worst case scenarios in my time, and none of them happened, and I remind myself that, just like the other day, I was having a harder day, and I just went into prayer, and I was just like, God, I keep thinking like something bad may happen, or I'm not going to have a home, or I'm not going to have, what I need. And And then I just went right into, but I've never went through that. I've always had what I needed and then some. And I've never been in those situations. And you've always kept me. And you always made sure I had clothes on my back and food on the table and a warm place to lay my head down. Like, you always provided, even when I didn't know there was a way. Like, I remember when I was pregnant, and I'll probably share this story later, but just basically I was pregnant. I didn't have any job. I didn't have any place to live. I was living with my parents at the time. I didn't want to stay there and had no income. Like, it was a bad situation, but somehow I ended up getting an apartment, signing a lease with no job, with no money, and just the universe made a way, and I was able to eventually pay the rent. Like, things just be working out. So even when things look so bleak and like I have no idea how this is gonna work, it always works out. So I have to remind myself of those situations when I find myself going down that worst case scenario. Number 6 is that I go into gratitude. So like when I was, talking about like the worst case scenario has never happened, then I started going into gratitude. Like, thank you, divine source, for giving me everything that I need. Thank you for always being with me. Thank you for giving me the courage to, do this. Thank you for giving me the faith and the hope and the inspiration. And thank you for allowing me to be able to be here now and to be able to have a warm space that I call home. Thank you for me being able to have more than enough food that I need, more than enough, money that I need, more than enough in the moment. Like, in the moment, I have everything I need and then some. And I just go into like this great state of gratitude. And I'm like, thank you for my health. Thank you for the ability to have vision, to see, to hear. Thank you for the ability to be able to walk, because there are so many people who don't have legs, but I can get out and take a walk when I'm having a rough day. I'm able to like clear my head. Thank you. Thank you for my health. Thank you for keeping me here, because there were so many days that I wanted to unalive myself. There were so many days that I didn't want to be here anymore, because life sometimes just gets so hard. And especially when you feel like you're by yourself. But I know I'm not alone, because the divine has been with me. And I'm like, thank you. And I get so excited and I'm just so pumped up, because I'm like, thank you, divine. Thank you, source. Thank you, Mother God, Father God. Thank you. So that helps me too. Like, that brings up my spirits. Like, I just even feel moved just talking about it, because gratitude is a very powerful vibration enhancer. Like, whatever you're feeling low or feeling down, or your thoughts are scattered and you're feeling anxious, like, coming into a state of gratitude just completely changes your vibration. It changes your thoughts. It changes the state of your body and your mind. So I think all of these strategies are really helpful, but gratitude is like one of the most powerful things. And then number 7, lastly, I do as many things as possible to keep my vibe high, to keep my frequency high. Like, I always say my job is not always to figure out the how, because the divine source is going to do that. My job is to take action and to do as much as I can to make myself feel good. So I dance. I take a lot of baths. I do a lot of walking. Walking always makes me feel good. So I just went for a walk today, like ice still on the ground. I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting out, going for a walk. Like, I need to be in nature. That stuff makes me feel good. Listening to music, just like the other day, I had a whole jam session listening to my favorite songs and my favorite artists for like 2 hours. I'm constantly doing things that make me feel good. So when I'm in a space of feeling good, I get less of those anxious thoughts. So those are some things that I've been doing to just really help myself navigate anxious emotions, to navigate, anticipating the worst case scenario and keeping me calm, even in the midst of like all of these challenges I'm going through, all of this uncertainty that I am currently experiencing. Like, and I dealt with depression. So I have to be very mindful of my day-to-day, of my thoughts, of how I move through life, because if I don't, like, depression can take over, anxiety can take over. So these strategies have been life-changing and life-sustaining. So I hope that you found some value in this. If you found any value, I ask that you like the video, that you subscribe and share it with anyone else that you think who could find value in this video as well. And if you have any comments, you know, share in the comment section. What do you do when you're feeling anxious? Like, is there something that you do that I do, or do you want to maybe try some of the things that I've been doing? Like, share like what your thoughts are, because I know I'm not the only one who deals with anxiety. And I really just want to get the message out that it's not abnormal. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just like we just have to be mindful of strategies and things that we can do to empower ourselves so that we don't let anxiety run our lives, because I know how powerless it can make you feel, and I know how hard it can be to navigate the day to day. So, all right, y'all, thank you for spending time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.